Ginny was the first member of the Rotary Club of Harrisburg in 1989 when women were first welcomed as regular members. She has been part of this club's fabric for the past 34 years, and she will share with us all today why she is a Rotarian. Ginny.
Thank you. In 1987. So let's go back, and it's weird because half this room wasn't here, I'm sure. Okay, the year was 1987, and I was in my late 20s, probably in my 5th year at what was to unfold as an amazing career in marketing. The initial invitation to guest as a Rotarian luncheon guest felt more like I was being hoisted by my ear by my late business partner's husband, Dudley Smith. Dudley was a member here, he was a member of Merrill Lynch, and he talked frequently about this men's service club that met on a Monday. All the banks, all the bigwigs, CEOs filled the room. Some of you will recognize some of these names: Harsco, Dolphin Deposit, Harris Savings. And I think some perhaps thought I was Dudley's daughter. It's very nice that I was there that day. I realized immediately to be endorsed for membership, I needed to blend, meaning I needed to be likable, manageable, and motivated. After all, it was the US Supreme Court that had opened this door, not the club per se. And another local club had already inducted Carolyn Dumaresque, who at the time was a district superintendent. And this kid was no Carolyn D. So my first impression in '87, a lot of older white men, songs. Yes, they sang 2 Rotary songs per meeting. The songs were older than time, which referred to women as Rotarians, like Raggedy Anns. And then the discussion started around service. I admit this girl was gobsmacked. This club, these guys got shit done. They had money, the contacts, and good grief, the motivation. So like most things in my life, I said, hey, I'll give it a shot for a year, why not? And admittedly, I joined this club for both the service and the networking. You know, me and 120 of the pen writers in this city, why not? I was inducted the same day as Janice Black's predecessor at TFEC, Diane Sandquist. Then it was known as the Greater Harrisburg Foundation. And it was great to have a colleague to companion on this journey. She later left the club, retiring to Florida. And yes, there were tables that I was less welcomed at, and there were other less subtle snubs, which I ignored. It was a different time, a very different time, and yet I must acknowledge the club was purposeful in making change. I was also aware I was part of the test that would decide how wide the door would remain open. There were so many encouraging mentors: Dudley Smith, the late Bob Hostetter, John Smither. John wrote me an amazing letter when my dad passed, recognizing his service in World War II when John was raised in London. John later wrote a great book about being raised in London during World War II. Olin Harris, speaking of iconic names, Jesus Shaw, Mark Pawlowski, the late Charles Clevenger, Al Baker, who incidentally owned a great cigar shop, but that's a story for another day. Okay, as I participated and volunteered and immersed myself in this club and our colleagues in our service and our fellow Rotarians, the Ginny in me blossomed. Even now, when I embrace a different perspective than my fellow lunch partners, I prize without question, we have more in common than we. Our speakers, our programs, and initiatives have helped to shape my belief around where there are needs, how they are met, and who gets things done? We get things done. So what does being a Rotarian mean to me? More women have become members over the years. Many have devotedly served as president and generously in district roles. I've not had that bandwidth, but I admire their commitment and their service. There is one thing Jenny knows for certain. The only constant is change, which makes President Ellen's challenge to all of us last week so poignant. I am witness to from where this club has come. But it is important to ask, where do you want this club to go? What doors will you open? I believe it is time again for each of us to be purposeful. What doors will you open? How will we best continue to get things done? Part of the answer I suggest is just how we got here, together. Where we go forward, sometimes, yes, will include a little discomfort, but together I know this club will evolve, it'll grow, it'll continue to get things done. And we're gonna have fun together. After all, we are club number 23 in all the world, and I am a proud Rotarian. Thank you.